we are talking about 30 to 50 years, and pretty much a population got impacted was about 5 to 6 billion. Not impacted, but adopted this technology. So it's like 5 to 6 billion. And I'll get to in the end why exactly I'm talking about these numbers. And if you look at the AI era, now we are talking about 5 to 10 years. Again, we can debate on that. Some would say 10 years, some would say 5. But pretty much within this window, we have about the impact which it has created. And again, the chat GPT was the revolutionary part. It's about like 2 to 6 billion people who have got the adoption for AI. Now, I think all these numbers are pretty much floating around. Let's compile them together. So if you look at, there is a concept called compound annual growth rate, which is like, instead of measuring durations versus adoption, it compiles all together, and it's a mathematical formula. Don't ask me how it works. But yeah, it's basically compiles all the different variables and put together a number. So the compound annual growth rate between for agriculture was about like 0.07% per year. If you look at the industrial era, it was 0.6%. If you look at the computer era, it went to about 1.14%. So again, you can see there is incremental growth. And if you look at the AI, now we are talking about 4.19, which is about 4 times the compute. So I think if you are investing your time and money in this space, you will not regret 100%, and that's what we agree as well. If you look at the different eras between the computer, like different stages, how we went in the computing era, it was pretty much like we started with like one desktop on every desk. That was like Bill Gates' initial statement. And eventually we went there, then we said, okay, what next? And then client server came, what next? Internet came, what next? Mobile cloud came, and finally we are at the AI stage. Each of these evolution have basically transformed the way how we operate, how we live, how we do our day in, day out activities. I think so nobody ever thought that we will be running our entire lives on a mobile phone, from traveling to basically buying things to maybe making transactions. And again, this is a sort of an evolution which nobody thought about if you would have gone back 50 years. And the AI era which we are in, that will make a similar sort of dramatic change. And we need to be prepared, or maybe upfront on the edge, to basically leverage that. So I think there have been a lot of terminologies past couple of like 5 to 10 years, if you have been involved with the AI conversations which have been happening. So ML, AI, Gen AI. So just a raise of hand, like how many of us do understand like whether AI came first or ML came first or Gen AI came first? Like, fair enough. So if I say ML came first and then AI, would it be a right statement, or do you disagree with that? Okay. Oh yeah, some people have definitely read the books. So AI have been in the inception since 1960s. It's just a matter of like the way how AI was considered or how it was used. So we still had the concept of AI, and it was pretty much rule-based. It was not literally the AI which we talk today. And this was there. The only challenge at that time was it was more like the compute was not ready. The technology was there, algorithms were there, but the compute was not ready. So then we went into the ML era, which is more about you predict. So machine learning is more about predicting the next thing, next thing, next thing. So you give it a sample, as big sample you give, the better prediction it comes out with. So we have statistical learning, we have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and different learning formats. So that's pretty much like 1980s, pretty much 20 years. Now we get into the deeper side, or in the deep waters. That's where we start with the deep learning and neural nets, which is the foundational ground how our models and today AI works. So deep learning itself is a spectrum of, I think so, ideas and concepts. We can definitely dive into in a separate session, but just to give you a high level understanding, today's model, if you're using GPT, if you're using any of those fancy models, they are somewhere running backend with a deep learning algorithms, neural nets, and multi-layer neural nets. And now we are in the era of Gen AI. So Gen AI, pretty much the GPT space, the foundational model, the LLMs, large language models. I think the real value prop over here, what Gen AI has done is, it has brought the technology from a research lab into a common man's hand. And that's why this is creating a dramatic change in the way how we are operating with the computers and the technology. So I think what I would like to basically summarize is, you don't need to be expert in all of these boxes, but again, try to leverage it, how it can solve business problems. And I think so you can get an edge. Definitely you will get an edge if you leverage the Gen AI space.